You know, if you've ever tried to learn a new language, you know the struggle. It can be so tough. So today, we're going to deconstruct a simple but really powerful method that millions have used online, the Learn English with Jessica system. And our goal here isn't just to see what it is, but to really understand why it's so incredibly effective.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. This question right here probably sounds familiar, right? And what about this one? Do you want to understand native speakers without replaying the video again and again? These questions are the perfect hook because they tap into that universal frustration that pretty much every single language learner feels.
And that frustration, it really gets to the heart of the problem for beginners. Just getting started. Finding your footing and building any kind of momentum can feel like you're climbing a mountain. And it's that initial barrier that just stops so many people dead in their tracks before they even really begin.
Yeah, these hurdles are just so common. You've got the fear of saying something wrong, the struggle to keep up with fast native speakers, and then there's that paralyzing feeling of not even knowing what you should be practicing each day. It is so easy to get completely overwhelmed.
And that's exactly where our case study comes in. The Learn English with Jessica videos offer a brilliant solution to all that chaos by giving you a clear, structured system for daily practice. The whole thing is designed to be simple enough that you can actually follow it every single day.
So here it is, the entire method laid out. Seriously, think of it as a 4-part daily workout for your language skills. First, you listen. Then, you learn the keywords. Next, you answer questions. And finally, you repeat and speak. See how each step just logically builds on the last one? It's genius.
Okay, so let's break down the first half of this method. Parts 1 and 2 are all about building a really solid foundation. And they do this through what learning experts call passive input, which is basically just absorbing the language without a ton of pressure. So the very first step is what we could call low-pressure listening. The instruction is simple. Just relax and try to understand the main idea. By telling you not to worry about catching every single word, it just immediately lowers your anxiety and makes the task feel totally achievable. It's all about getting a feel for the context, not about perfection. So how does the method actually connect this listening to real learning? Well, during the conversation, one of the characters says this very simple, very common phrase. And the system takes this exact moment. And it does this. It pulls out the key phrase and gives you a super clear definition. And this is such a crucial detail. You're not learning vocabulary from random flashcards. It's pulled directly from the conversation you just heard, which makes it immediately relevant and way easier for your brain to hang on to. All right, let's move on to the second half of this workout. The foundation is built. Now it's time to activate those skills. We're going to shift from just understanding the language to actually using it. And the absolute key here is this switch from passive to active learning. You see, parts 1 and 2 were all about input, just listening and building your knowledge base. But now, parts 3 and 4 are all about output, forcing your brain to recall that information and produce the language all on your own. Part 3 is the Q&A section, so you get asked questions about the conversation and you're prompted to answer them out loud. This is the critical bridge from passive to active. It forces your brain to do something called active recall, which means you're moving past just recognizing the words to actually retrieving them from your memory to form your own sentences. And the final active step is shadowing. This is where you repeat each line right after the speaker, trying to copy their rhythm and pronunciation. Now, this isn't just about memorizing words. It's about building the muscle memory for speaking naturally. You're literally training your mouth and your brain to get used to the flow of the language. So we've covered the 4 parts, right? Listening, vocabulary, Q&A, and shadowing. It's a really solid, well-designed system. But there's one final element. You could call it the secret ingredient that makes the whole thing truly work. Because, as logical as this whole system is, just doing those 4 steps one time, well, that's really only half the story. Doing them once is fine, I guess, but it's not going to lead to fluency. The real engine of this method, the thing that turns practice into actual progress, is something else entirely. And here it is, stated right there in the source material. Repetition is the key to success. Learners are told, explicitly, to do this routine again and again. So the method isn't just a set of steps, it's a workout that's designed to be repeated daily. And that consistency is what builds real, lasting skill. So let's just quickly recap why this whole thing works so well. First, it's simple, which makes it easy to do every day. It's structured, so you always know exactly what to do next. It's comprehensive. It covers listening, vocabulary, and speaking.